Students, today we are going to read a very beautiful poem, a doctor's journal entry for August 6, 1945 by Vikram Seth. Vikram Seth, born in Kolkata, is a well-known Indian poet and novelist. He studied at Doon School. He has written a number of poetry books, novels, and non-fiction works. A doctor's journal entry for August 6, 1945 is an anti-war poem. It captures glimpses of horror and destruction in Nagasaki, Japan on August 6, 1945 after a nuclear bomb fell on it. The poem consists of 63 lines in total. It is not divided into stanzas, and the speaker in the poem is a doctor. Let's start with the poem. The morning stretched calm, beautiful, and warm. The poet says that, the speaker says that the morning was very beautiful. It was calm and warm, sprawling, half clad, and the speaker was partially dressed on this beautiful morning. I gazed out at the form. Gazed out means looked intently. Form of shimmering leaves. Shimmering means shining uh, with a slightly wavering light. And then the speaker says that he looked intently on shimmering leaves and shadows. Suddenly, a strong flash, then another startled me. Startled me means shocked me. And then suddenly, there was a strong flash, followed by another strong flash, and all this startled me, it shocked me. I saw the old stone lantern brightly lit, and there was an old stone lantern that was brightly lit. Magnesium flares while I debated it. While I debated it means he discussed it, tried to understand that maybe this was magnesium flares, the roof, the walls, and as it seemed, the world collapsed in timber and debris. Debris means waste, timber means wood. And then, while he was trying to understand that maybe this was because of magnesium flares, and then at that time, the roof, the walls, and everything of his home fell down. It collapsed and it became a heap of wood and waste. Dust swelled. Swelled means it rose up, welled around me and then around the speaker. The dust rose up in the garden now and weird. My drawers and undershirt disappeared. Drawers mean the stockings, and it was weird. It was very strange that his stockings and undershirt disappeared. A splinter means a piece of large object, especially a wood. Jutted means sticked out. My mangled thigh. Mangled means crushed, and a piece of large object, a piece of large wood sticked out of his damaged thigh. My right side bled. My cheek was torn, and there was bleeding on his right side, and his cheek was torn because of some piece of glass. And I dislodged detachedly. Detachedly means without any feelings, indifferently. Dislodged, took out, and I uh, took out that piece of glass indifferently, all the time wondering what had come to pass. All the time wondering what had come to pass means he was trying to understand that what had happened. It was it had happened all of a sudden. Where was my wife? Alarmed, I gave a shout. And then he was alarmed. He thought of his wife and he called her. Where are you, Yakusan? My blood gushed out. And then when he called his wife, blood came out. It flowed quickly. The artery in my neck, from the artery of his neck, because the artery in the neck was punctured. Scared for my life, and at that time he was afraid that maybe he would die. I called out, panic stricken, to my wife, and frightened again. He called his wife. Pale, blood-stained, frightened Yakusan emerged. Emerged means came out, holding her elbow. And then Yakosen came out of the house, and he was holding her elbow. Maybe there was a fracture, and she was looking pale. She was blood-stained and frightened. "We'll be fine," I urged. I assured her that we'll be going to be okay. Let us let's get out quickly. And what was the first thing for them to do? That we should go out of the house, stumbling to the street. They were not able to walk properly, so stumbling they went to the street. We fell, tripped by something at our feet, and then they tripped on something and they fell down. I gasped out, and he breathed with difficulty. When I saw it was a head, then he saw that they tripped on a head. He gasped. "Excuse me, please excuse me." He was dead. And then he understood that he was a dead person there. There was a dead person. A gate had crushed him, and he was that dead person was crushed under the gate. There we stood afraid, and for some time they stood there and they were afraid. Our house standing before us tilted. Tilted means it bent to one side, swayed, it moved, toppled, it fell and crashed. And before them, while they were standing over there, a house tilted, it swayed and toppled and crashed. Fire sprang up in the dust. Sprang means rose, and then fire rose from the heap of the dust, spread by the wind, and then the fire spread because of the wind. It dawned on us we must go to the hospital. Dawned on means realized. And then we realized that we should go to the hospital. We needed aid. We needed first aid. And I should help my staff too. And then, because he was a doctor, he was thinking that at the hospital he will be able to help his staff also. Though this made sense to me, then I wonder how I could. And then he realized that as he himself was injured, maybe he will not be able to help them. My legs gave way, my legs failed, he was not able to walk. I sat down on the ground, and then he decided to take some rest, and then he sat down on the ground. Thirst seized me, he was very thirsty, but no water could be found, but he was not able to find any water there. My breath was short, his breath was short, and he was not able to breathe properly, but bit by bit, my strength seemed to revive. And gradually, bit by bit, gradually, uh, his strength came back, and this shows us that he was having a strong desire to survive. I got up at length. I was still naked, and then he says that at that time also he was naked, he was not having any clothes, but I felt no shame. This thought disturbed me somewhat, and though he was naked, he didn't feel any shame, and this thought disturbed him, that why didn't he feel any shame? Till I came upon a soldier standing silently, and then on the way he met a soldier who gave the towel around his neck to me, and then he gave that soldier gave him his towel to him. My legs stiff with dry blood rebelled. Rebelled means failed, and as his legs were stiff with the dried blood. They failed. He was not able to walk. I said to Yakusan she must go on ahead. Then he requested his wife that she should leave him and she should move on. She didn't wish to, she didn't want to leave her husband, but in our distress means but in our pain, what choice had we? They didn't have any other choice. A dreadful loneliness came over me when she had gone. And when he was left alone. His wife had gone. Then at that time he felt very lonely. My mind ran at high speed. My blood crept behind. Crept behind means moved very slowly. His mind was running very fast, but his body was moving slowly. I saw the shadowy forms of people. Some are ghosts, some scarecrows. Scarecrows. The people here are compared with the sticks that are placed in the fields to frighten crows. Okay, the speaker says that some people were looking like shadows, No, sorry, they were looking like ghosts, they were looking like scarecrows. All were wordless dumb. Wordless dumb means they were not able to speak anything, and they were all looking like stupid people. Arms stretched straight out, shoulder to dangling hand. It took some time for me to understand. And all the people have stretched their arms out so that they don't touch their bodies. And it took some time for me to understand, and the speaker says that he was not able to understand that why they were walking like that, why they had stretched their arms away from their bodies. The friction on their burns caused so much pain, and then he realized that because they all were wounded and the friction could cause pain to them, they feared to chafe flesh against flesh. Chafe means scratch, and they were afraid that when their flesh of arms will scratch with the flesh of their bodies, then they will feel pain. Those who could shuffled means they dragged their feet in a blank parade towards the hospital. Those who were able to walk, they went towards the hospital. I saw dismayed a woman with a child stand in my path both naked. And then this made me shocked, and he was shocked to see that there was a woman along with her child, and they both were naked. Had they come back from the bath? I turned my gaze, but was at loss. What was at a loss? And then the speaker says that there was a thought in my mind that maybe they have come straight from the bath, and then he turned his looks away from them, but was at a loss that she should stand thus till I came across a naked man. And then again he saw, then he came across means met, but was at a loss means this was a silly idea. Okay, then again he came across, he met another naked man, and now the thought arose that some strange thing had stripped us. Stripped us means deprived us of our clothes. And then he thought that maybe there was something strange, and that is because of that strange thing, they all of them were deprived of their clothes. The face of an old woman on the ground was marred. Marred means damaged. And then he saw one old lady that was lying on the ground, and she was also damaged because of the suffering. But she made no sound. But she was not making any sound. She was silent. Silence was common to us all, and all the people, though they were suffering at that moment, they were not able to speak even a single word. I heard no cries of anguish. Anguish means pain. The speaker says that he didn't hear any cry of pain or a single word, and no one was saying anything. Okay, and these horrifying images reveal the deadly aspect of war, and we feel revulsion, means disgust for those warmongers who cause such mass scale destruction and damage. Okay, thank you for watching.